Hello and welcome to another episode of Food for Thought, Political Wrap-Up. On this episode, we will talk about what has happened in politics this past week. It's tough to keep up, as you all know, but we will try. Okay, so during the meetings with senators, Donald Trump referred to Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas. Now, during the campaign, he did that several times, so I guess he's just picked up calling her Pocahontas. He was basically making fun of the fact that she was shut up on the Senate floor when she tried to read the letter from Martin Luther King Jr.'s widow. And during a meeting with the senators, they were all around a table, and he kind of just came out and called her Pocahontas again, and nobody did or said anything to correct him. They kind of just let him say it. Rumor has it, because there are many, many leaks coming out of the White House, and rumor has it that they all just kind of sat there dumbfounded, some of them open-mouthed, and a really awkward silence just, fell in the room.
That would be like the silence of the lambs.
Well, maybe
they are a bunch of damn sheep. And
maybe they all feel like they're being led to slaughter, because that's exactly what they did. They were kind of like, imagine now, seeing this happen, but Pocahontas, and they're like this. But they never said, hey, dude, that's wrong. You don't talk that way. We don't do that here. We're all grown-ups. Nobody corrects him, and it's baffling. And you got to wonder, why doesn't anybody correct his insane behavior, his unacceptable behavior? So anyhow, you have to ask the question, why do supposedly intelligent people sit around and listen to this man say unacceptable things and do not call him on it? Director, do you have any idea why these grown-up, intelligent, they're supposed to be intelligent individuals, sit around and listen to this man talk this way?
It's because they fill his wallet. He fills their wallets.
And let it be known that my very valuable director-producer is showing me his wallet. He feeds their wallet, and that's why they don't correct him.
I would say that's a good chance.
So that's more important than the safety, sanity, and well-being of our country.
Most people, the people that put the value on the dollar, that's the only thing that matters to them. They don't care if the world goes to hell in a handbasket. They don't care if there's anything left for our children, because most of them don't have children.
Okay, so let's talk about a few of the other little cutesy things that he said this week. And when I say cutesy, I actually mean insane. So when I say cutesy, I mean insane. Oh, and by the way, did I say that KellyAnne Conway is despicable?
Not this week. Okay,
well, KellyAnne Conway is despicable. Okay, so hundreds of people. This is what Trump said the other night. I'm sorry. He can't get off this kick about the election and about the fact that he lost the popular vote. So now he's saying that hundreds of people would bust in from Massachusetts into New Hampshire to help Hillary Clinton win New Hampshire. Hundreds of people were bussed in. What do you think about that?
It would take several buses. I think it would be easy to just debunk that one.
Well, this is what he's claiming, and then one of the little White House schmucks comes on TV and he's like saying, everybody knows this is a problem in New Hampshire. I'm sorry, but I can't help it. I hope that the viewers are laughing along with me, because all of this stuff is just so literally insane that if you don't laugh, you have to cry. Okay, so look, you want to talk about Michael Flynn for a minute? Okay, so you know that between the vote in November and the inauguration in January, Michael Flynn basically had a conversation on the morning of the day that Barack Obama announced that they were going to be putting additional sanctions on Russia. Michael Flynn had a conversation with the Russian ambassador. Now, at the time, everybody knew that it happened, that this conversation took place. But Michael Flynn, whose son, by the way, is the one of the pieces of crap that was tweeting the fact that Hillary Clinton and the Democrats were involved in
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate, which was child pornography. I'm sorry. being, I guess, sold or handled through a very popular pizzeria in Washington, D.C. Okay, so people, if you can't laugh about these things, and if you actually believe that these things are true, you have some screws loose. You're also gullible, and you're also ridiculous. You're just ridiculous people. But anyhow, so Michael Flynn told the world, but most especially told now Vice President Mike Pence, that he and the Russian ambassador did not talk about the sanctions. Well, he lied. And he's now coming forward, and he basically said to Mike Pence, yeah, we may have talked about the sanctions. Because what happens is our government has audio recordings from on all these people, like this Russian ambassador. His phone lines are recorded. So our intelligence agencies know what's said during phone conversations. Now, Michael Flynn should have known this because, he supposedly is an expert in this field. But anyhow, whether he knew it or not, he denied at first that sanctions were talked about. He may have just slipped his mind because maybe sanctions weren't too important to him as they were discussing Christmas. But now he's saying, we may have. So after Mike Pence came on national television that following Sunday and on several different newscasts said, basically, swore himself that Mike Flynn did not talk about the sanctions. Now it makes him look like a liar. And, and then to add insult to injury, Trump is then claiming on Friday afternoon after this news broke all over American news stations, and we know this man can't stay away from the news. He's claiming, I don't know anything about it. I'll look into it, but I don't know anything about it. That remains to be seen. There's very little that he doesn't know about, especially when it comes to scandal. He loves scandal. He should be on the TV show Scandal. Anyhow, I want to talk a little bit about, for a minute, and back to this Michael Flynn thing and this whole Russian thing. There is a Betsy DeVos connection. She is the sister of Eric Prince. Okay, and she was named education secretary by Trump. Now, everybody knows that her nomination did get pushed through, even though she's the most unqualified person in the world to head up the Department of Education. But she bought her way in. Everybody knows that. So despite having no experience for the job, other than advocating sporadically for charter schools in Michigan, she got pushed through on this nomination. As she tried to go out to a public school in D.C. on Friday, she was actually stopped by people. They would not let her enter the school. And Secret Service had to whisk her away because they just wouldn't let. They were like, not in our school. You're not entering our school. She's got to be one of the most. We'll put her in the list of the top 5 most hated women in America. Of course, KellyAnne Conway would be number 1. We'd have to say Kayleigh McEnany is number 2. And no, Betsy might be on top of Kayleigh. Kayleigh's number 3, though. And there is basically a petition circulating around online media begging CNN to remove Kayleigh McEnany from CNN because people just don't want to see her anymore. She's so revolting. Anyhow, Eric Prince, who is Betsy DeVos's brother, himself was named a shadow advisor to Trump, even though by November 8th, the fact that his statements to Breitbart had been part of a domestic disinformation campaign. Prince is so close to Trump that he appears to have been present at the election night returns watching party. So the night that Trump was elected, Prince was hanging out. Eric Prince, Betsy DeVos's brother, was at, Trump's victory party. His wife posted pictures of the event, so that's how everybody knows that he was there, because his wife actually posted pictures. Giuliani, originally assured a cabinet position and then separated from the Trump team entirely, perhaps as punishment for his carelessness on Fox News, was then given a highly lucrative but substance-free position within the administration on the same day. Then on January 12th, the Department of Justice announced that the Inspector General would be investigating the sequence of events compromising the Prince Giuliani-Trump conspiracy. Inspector General Horowitz noted that within his brief investigation, there was a series of leaks that occurred between the New York PD, the FBI, and outside entities, including, we can surmise, based on context, the Trump campaign. So what they're basically saying there is during that whole time, again, and this is actually before the election, there was a conspiracy between the New York City Police Department, Giuliani, and the FBI to basically have Comey come out and say that Hillary Clinton, to bring up the whole Hillary Clinton email thing again. So right now, this should, and if it's not being investigated right now by the CIA and the FBI, although the FBI was part of it, so I don't really see. I guess what we would need is a special investigation team to come on in and, head up that type of thing, because, and we're going to have to depend on, I hate to say, Jason Chaffetz, but he is the one that heads up the oversight, the House Oversight Committee. So he's the one that would have to, I guess, initiate a special committee to come in and investigate this, because there's so much corruption going on. There's corruption on top of the corruption on top of the corruption. Nobody can keep track of the amount of corruption that's going on in this current White House. And that's just absolutely crazy. Okay, so how about Sean Spicer? Do we all want to talk about Sean Spicer for a minute? And what about Melissa McCartney's impersonation of him? She's now done it twice. I know you viewed those with me. What did you think of those, of her impersonation of Sean Spicer on Saturday Night Live?
I think she was better at doing Sean Spicer than Sean Spicer is at doing Sean Spicer.
Yeah. But I have to say that would be the same thing about Alec Baldwin doing Trump. Oh, and didn't you read somewhere that one of the major publications...
It was a publication in the Dominican Republic
that made a mistake. It used a picture of Alec Baldwin when they did a story about Trump. That's hilarious. Anyhow, Sean Spicer has to be by far the worst press secretary ever in the history of the United States of America. I don't know if he can consider that an honor or not. Maybe he does in his list of accomplishments, because he's really a terrible press secretary. Okay, let's talk about KellyAnne Conway for a minute. Last week had to be her worst week ever in her little career of politics, because she gave us alternative facts, she gave us the Bowling Green massacre, and she gave us a commercial for Ivanka Trump. What do you think about that?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I think it's despicable.
Alternative facts.
Great song.
Yes, I was going to say, everybody, there is a song out on YouTube. All you have to do is type in alternative facts. And then I guess you could do alternative facts, and you can type in my name, Donna Nolan Wilson, and it will come up. You can hear a song called Alternative Facts. But anyhow, she gave us alternative facts, Bowling Green Massacre, and the commercial for Ivanka Trump, which was... basically, she broke the law, and I know that the committee sent a letter, I believe, to Jason asking him to investigate that. Bottom line here is that the only person that can really punish her is Trump, and since she does all of his bidding, it's really doubtful. He has no moral compass, and he also was going after Nordstrom for canceling Ivanka's line. However, since then, Belka's canceled, Kmart's canceled, Sears is canceled. She's pretty much been kicked out of the whole spectrum of department stores. So, and he hasn't really attacked anybody else, but maybe because, and as I hear it too, Ivanka wasn't very happy with the avalanche that he caused for her, because the department store canceling her, that actually really started in January. And by what he did, when word got back to him, he kicked it up and he made it a bigger deal than she would have wanted it to be. Because supposedly she's backed away from all of her businesses, but of course, it's obvious she hasn't. It's obvious her father hasn't. Okay, so we know, again, just to recap, Betsy DeVos bought her cabinet position. Jason Chaffetz, oh, by the way, he had a town hall meeting, and when he showed up, there was a angry room full of people screaming at him, "Do your job and investigate Trump. Do your job and investigate Trump." He stayed about an hour. It was supposed to be 2 hours, and he cut out after about an hour, because quite frankly, he could not come up with good enough answers to the crowd that was screaming at him. Okay, so is there anything you want to talk about this week, Mr. Producer?
No, I think you pretty well covered the comedy.
Yeah, this is definitely... do you feel like our government and that the White House is now like a reality show? Does it feel like a reality TV show?
I think it feels like a surreality show.
Surreal?
Yes.
A surreal, like
A surreality show.
a surreality show.
Yeah, there's nothing real there.
Well, it's crazy scary. And I mean, and then the Trump, people in Trump's camp and some people in his, I wouldn't say in his, I'm not even sure if they're in his cabinet or anyhow, people that his pundits come out and people that speak for him come out and say, well, what's really a shame and what people shouldn't be investigating are all the leaks in the White House, because people should not be talking about this president like they're talking about him. Well, the reason why that's happening is people are mortified. People are scared to death, and people are freaked out that this man is the president of the United States. And nobody really knows what to do. Everybody is scrambling to try to figure out what to do. There are more marches planned. There are more boycotts planned. And people are, getting together evidence to try to have this man impeached because he does not belong being president of the United States. I guess we'll see what happens this week. The other night on Saturday Night Live, the person who was portraying the judge on the People's Court, made a statement, and her statement was, "Can you give us just one day that we don't have a CNN breaking news story saying that he did or said something absolutely, freaking frightening or scary?" I have to say that I totally agree with that. There isn't one morning that I don't wake up and think, what has he done now? And this is every single day. And it's not just since the election. This actually started getting really bad about 2 months before the election. And it's just been, since Election Day, increasingly worse. And then it gets even exponentially worse, or has been getting even exponentially worse since he took office. So on Friday, it'll be 1 month of him being president. And we've never seen anything like this before. And it's really not a sure thing that we can survive, that the country can survive 4 years of this. Something has to be done. He needs to be removed from office. His sanity definitely should be in question. The grown-ups in the White House, not just Elizabeth Warren, but all the grown-ups in the White House should be questioned. Oh, and actually Bernie Sanders also questioned his sanity. But everybody should be. And he should be required to have a psych evaluation. And he should have a full medical evaluation done too. Because there's just something not right there. There's something very wrong with him. And perhaps rather than the Republicans saying, they'll still be in control even if he's removed from office. They'll still be in control. Republicans, even if he's removed from office right now, you'll still be in control of the White House. So do what's best for this country, please. We beg you. We implore you. Do what's best for the country and come together with the Democrats and have this man removed from office before he does something that we can't put a stop to, repair, or replace. Okay, that's all for this week. Thanks for tuning in to Food for Thought. Please leave your comments and thoughts below. So like right here under the screen, there's a little comment section you can click and you can leave comments, ask questions. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Studio.